So tell us a little bit about your background and how you found your way to interdisciplinary studies.
I actually did not think about INDS at all when I was a freshman. I remember I just wanted to study international global studies, and when I told during summer freshman orientation, I was telling that person who was guiding me between departments, and that's just what I want to study. And he was like, "We don't have that studies in UMBC, but I can take you to INDS, which actually has that, where you can make your own major through that." So I came, and that's how I met Steven, Mr. McAlpine, my advisor. And just through that, um, I was able to actually build more details about what I really want to study, because I didn't really know what I wanted to study. I would just tell Steven, this is my passion, or this is my interest, you know, just from these kind of experience that I had, I've been interested in these different things, and then he would actually pinpoint to different readings, and pinpoint to different classes even, or through relationship that we built. I guess we were able to have a more personal. I don't know where I'm going with this right now. But that's actually how I came to IDS program.
Well, and those interests being, what do you call this field that you want to go into and that you've been researching?
I remember I want to do something international, working with poverty or human rights abuse. I think that's why I wanted to do international global studies. However, when I told him about these kind of interests that I had, or passion that I had, he led me more into. I also had an interest in business also, and I believe, especially in the third world, developing countries, business works better than how in those areas rather than government, because sometimes government, they lack in capacity or autonomy. So telling him those kind of things, he actually kind of led me to path of social entrepreneurship. He's like, that's actually social entrepreneurship. So I was like, oh, that's what it is. And from there, I started my degree plan for social entrepreneurship.
Right, and we discussed why this kind of personalized advising is important, because then your advisor can help you find mentors who are also teaching or researching or working on issues of social entrepreneurship. And I think we're grateful to David Hoffman for mentoring you. So I served as your academic advisor, but we also found two faculty mentors who helped you with your capstone, the other one being
Dr. Davis from Political Science
Dr.
Department.
Davis, Political Science. And your capstone was about what?
It was about how social entrepreneurship can be used to reduce human trafficking, and how effective that would be, and what would the impact of social entrepreneurship could be. And just through advising, especially with Mr. McAlpin, I was able to really coin that research topic. Of course, within the research, I was working with my faculty advisors was amazing, but just the path that actually led me to that research, I think I wanted to acknowledge Mr. McAlpine for that. Because one thing, going back to personal advising, I think, I don't know anyone on UMBC that has this close relationship with their advisor than anyone that I know from INDS department. I know everyone from INDS department, they all have a really tight relationship with the advisor, and then they know them in more of a personal level rather than just professional or just academic kind of level. Because sometimes I know a lot of my friends who are in other departments, their relationship with the advisor is just professional, or it's purely professional. They only meet during when they want to register for classes, and that's about it. But with me and Mr. McAlpin, I know with every other IND students, they're able to meet weekly or bi-weekly, especially when they're designing the proposal. I remember having weekly meetings with Mr. McAlpin, and also when I was taking INDs 480, I was able to I met with Professor Lanu and also with Mr. McAlpin, like at least weekly and bi-weekly process to help me go through, like, start on the research and everything. And I believe that's one of the biggest assets of INDS program. And I guess on like a side note, like personal kind of story, is I remember I was listening, Mr. McGoppin told me one time to just go through the course catalog and see all the courses that I was interested in. I believe I picked like 20 or 30 poli-sci classes. And he actually advised me to, maybe why don't you actually transfer to poli-sci rather than just study political science? And I actually didn't mind doing that either, but at the same time, because of my relationship that I built with Mr. Pagap and also with the positive aspects and the personal aspects that I gained from INDS program, I actually didn't want to do that. And I thought interdisciplinary approach will be a lot better and also a lot rewarding to my personal experience. I actually kind of refused and stayed in INDS program.
That's good. And you know, when you look at your degree plan, your individualized degree plan, there are a lot more disciplines that you needed outside of political science. Like, what are some of the other disciplines you chose to include in your degree plan?
I have chose management/entrepreneurship, because UMBC doesn't have a business program, but that is the entrepreneurship part of social entrepreneurship. And I also have economics, which all relates, and I chose more classes that relates more with international development and how the economics works with poverty and economic development.
And you had also mentioned a discipline you wish you had spent more time with, and what was that?
It's actually sociology. I wish I learned more of how people work in groups and how culture and social aspects really affect how people react and how people react in their own academic ways or their own business or in their political science or like public policy, and how that relates, how that affects and kind of melts into their lifestyle, just daily lifestyle. Because I have found some social issues within under my capstone. However, I only mentioned it because I never had a study on it. So I only just mentioned about some religious backgrounds about human trafficking or about social backgrounds about human trafficking, but I couldn't conduct any detailed studies because I don't have any sociology background.
What are some organizations that you think are doing great work in this area of social entrepreneurship? Maybe an organization you'd like to work for in the future. We could send them this video. Where would you like to go?
I think one of the best examples, case studies that I've found under my research is Vilgro. They focus on
Vilgro.
They're a venture capitalist, which they find businesses that has great ideas, but they lack in funding. So they give them seed funding, and then they give mentorship also. But their focus is for social entrepreneurs. Focus is social entrepreneurs who have great ideas, but maybe sometimes lack in funding. So Vilgro itself is a social entrepreneurial business, helping other social entrepreneurs. So I believe that was the greatest example. With human trafficking, they don't work directly with that, but because they are working with poverty and empowering people, I believe because one of the push and pull factors of social human trafficking is poverty, I believe they're doing great jobs in reducing human trafficking also.
Okay, so although this isn't a popular question during final exams, any thoughts about graduate school, about more studies down the line?
Honestly, as of now, I'm really done with academics. However, I have been looking more into masters, maybe 5 or 6 years down the line. But as of now, I want to gain real life experience, getting my hands dirty. However, I could see myself going into maybe a master's program or.
What kind of master's program?
Stuff that I looked into is, I think I started from like masters in public policy or business administration. However, I found more specific topics such as masters in, like George Mason has a program of masters in interdisciplinary studies with social entrepreneurship.
And a connection to the Ashoka Foundation, is that right?
Yeah, they also have direct connections, and with a Circle Foundation, which is based in Alexandria in Virginia,
Mhm.
which is not that far from George Mason also. There are other schools that have masters in social entrepreneurship, I believe under either public policy or business schools that they have, but they are really academically, they're like Ivy League schools. And I'm not sure if I'll be able to have any chance at it. But yeah.
Well, great. Well, good luck with changing the world and with your future plans. And thank you for sharing your experience.
Thank you. Thank you.